Part 1 of 3. 7 questions on rate limiting. 15 seconds each. Pause if you want longer. Your limit is 100 requests per minute using a fixed window counter. What is the maximum a client can send in a short burst? $200, double what you thought you'd allowed. Here's how. Your client waits until the very end of the window, fires off 100. The clock ticks over, the counter resets to 0, and it fires another 100 straight away. 200 requests, and not a single rule broken. That's the boundary burst, and it's why fixed window has a reputation. Which rate limiting algorithm is the industry default in most API gateways? Token bucket, and it wins because of what it lets you say. 2 dials. One sets the sustained rate you're willing to serve. The other sets how big a burst you'll forgive. That maps almost exactly onto how product teams already think about limits, which is why you'll find it in nearly every gateway you open. In a token bucket, what does the capacity parameter control? Capacity is the burst allowance. Think of it as the size of the bucket, how much a quiet client is allowed to save up and then spend all at once. It's the riffle rate that decides the long-run average. Mix those two up and you'll tune the wrong dial for hours wondering why nothing changes. A client has been idle for a minute. Under token bucket, what happens when it suddenly sends a burst? It gets to spend what it saved. And that's deliberate, not a loophole. Picture a phone coming out of a tunnel with a queue of requests to flush. That's a normal user, not an attacker. Token bucket forgives it. But an attacker hammering continuously drains the bucket in seconds and gets pinned to the riffle rate. Burst forgiven, abuse throttled. Why does the sliding window counter use 2 counters instead of storing every timestamp? Memory. The sliding log keeps a timestamp for every single request, so a busy client costs you more the busier it gets. The counter keeps 2 integers. That's it. It buys that with an assumption that traffic in the previous window was evenly spread, which is slightly wrong and almost never wrong enough to matter. When is the sliding log, storing every timestamp, actually the right choice? Low volume, high stakes. Login attempts. Password resets. Payment retries. Nobody legitimately does those 1,000 times a second, so the memory cost you were worried about just evaporates, and in exchange you get an answer that's exactly right rather than approximately right. When approximately right means an extra password guess, That trade is worth making. You have 10 API gateway instances, each counting requests locally with a limit of 100. What is the effective limit? $8,000. Every instance is confidently enforcing its own 100, completely unaware the other 9 exist, and the load balancer is happily spraying one client's requests across all of them. You've got 10 limiters, not one limit. This is the moment every rate limiter design meets Redis. That's part 1. Part 2 picks up right where this left off. It's linked below, along with the full episode.